Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Innal hamdulillah wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Brothers and sisters and friends, welcome to this quick note. I want to basically tell you that I had a very interesting, powerful, warm discussion with the highly acclaimed analytical philosopher Professor Peter Simons in Ireland. And we had a discussion on consciousness. The title was, Can Consciousness Best Be Explained by God's Existence? And I started the debate by giving him a gift, and he gave me a hug, and it was very warm and nice. And these are the type of debates and discussions we want to have. Being frank, honest, and compassionate. We want to transcend the kind of binary approach of the neo-atheists. Because the neo-atheists, they're not nuanced. They don't know how to basically have frank discussions, the likes of Richard Dawkins and others. But these type of atheists, these academics, especially Professor Peter Simons, very warm and engaging with each other in a very productive way. So we had a discussion. This discussion started by me highlighting what the problem of consciousness was. And the problem of consciousness, brothers and sisters and friends, is not the fact that we can report internal states. It's not the fact that we, for example, can report that we have certain feelings. These are the easy problems of consciousness that science has answered. Rather, the problem of consciousness I wanted to bring into account or bring into the discussion was called the hard problem of consciousness. And the hard problem of consciousness is essentially what it is to be like a conscious organism. Take the following example into consideration. Say I'm eating a strawberry. Now scientists will be able to tell that I'm eating a strawberry, or I'm eating something nice, I'm eating a piece of fruit that I consider sweet. They can find neurochemical patterns in my brain. But no matter how much we know about the brain, if we knew everything about the brain or everything about the neurochemical activity, we will still not be able to find out what it is like for Hamza to eat a strawberry. So this is called the hard problem of consciousness. And I basically talked about the 5 perilous strategies, the 5 flawed strategies that biological explanations have adopted to try and explain this hard problem. And I exposed that they basically are not working. Then I talked about the philosophy of the mind. I talked about type A materialism, type B materialism. I talked about dualism. I talked about panpsychism. I talked about functionalism, behavioralism, all the isms and schisms concerning the philosophy of the mind. And I showed their weakness. And then I said the best explanation for this is actually God's existence. And I used 5 key arguments to show how God is the best explanation. And the professor came and he basically said, I agree with everything Hamza had to say, apart from the last few minutes. He agreed with everything. And as an academic, I was quite happy for him to acknowledge that my reading was correct, my research was accurate, because I actually studied, I think technically, at 2 or 3 universities for this debate, because I bought academic lectures at prestigious universities and I went through them and studied them, and I studied all the books, and I had private conversations with academics on this issue. So I was quite happy that he acknowledged that everything I said was actually true. But then he said God's not the best explanation. He actually said that we don't know. But because science is working at the moment, it's going to give us an answer. And I responded by saying this is the science of the gaps fallacy, in essence. Because the door swings both ways. If you say there's a God of the gaps, we don't understand how the world works, therefore God did it, that's the God of the gaps fallacy. Then the door swings the other way. Science can't explain it, but it will somehow. That's also the science of the gaps fallacy. And I explained to him, but even his contention is misapplied. Why? Because if we knew everything about the brain, and if we knew all the neurochemical patterns and how they correlate to inner conscious feelings and what it is like to be me, we would still not be able to truly find out why inner conscious experience emerges from these processes or these neurochemical happenings, and what it is really like to be a particular person or to have these particular specific inner conscious states. So science is de-scoped. So that's why you need a metaphysical answer that really comprehensively provides a decent and accurate solution to this problem, which we already called the hard problem of consciousness. Anyway, I've gone on too much, but the point I'm trying to say here is, please watch the debate. It's going to be out very soon. It should be available on the channel that you're watching this video on as well. And please start using the hashtag on Twitter, which is no God, no you. Because essentially what we're trying to say is, if you reject God's existence, then you're rejecting your own self. Because the very fact that you have inner conscious experiences can only be best explained by God's existence. So wait for the debate and let's do an online campaign. Do your own videos, use arguments from the debate, create a narrative, but use the hashtag. But wait for the debate video. Then, for example, go on Twitter, copy in or mention Richard Dawkins and say, look, this academic admits that science doesn't have the solution. God's the best explanation. Do whatever you can. Let's create this narrative. May Allah bless you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.